Regan Slaymaker for International Boxing News, and I'm joined by top 15 world ranked super lightweight challenger Stevie Spark. Stevie, how you doing today, mate?
Really, really good. Thanks for having me on, mate. Appreciate it.
No problem at all. I thought we'd jump straight into it. Um, obviously your last fight against Montana Love, I caught up with it again this morning. Obviously huge opportunity for you. You did come out the victor, kind of. What a fight as well it turned out to be. We'll go into the ending in a minute, but started off well for you. As I said, huge opportunity. Dropped Love heavy in the second, and then kind of in the sixth round, an accidental clash of heads. You pile on the pressure as you're supposed to, and then the next thing you know, kind of Love's flipped you over the ropes. Kind of talk me through the fight. How did you think it was going in your favor, and then also those moments kind of towards the end of the fight?
Yeah, like obviously we knew he was going to be dangerous early on and sharp because he is, he's a highly level boxer, and we sort of were just going to take our time. And once I got the knockdown in the second, I still didn't want to jump on him too quick, because he's very sharp early. So I thought it's going to be more down the stretch with him, and towards the end of round four, and I had a big round five. I could see he's sort of shifting, his body language was shifting, and I was starting to get on top of him from there. And I was just starting to feel more and more comfortable in the ring there with him, and obviously starting to get on top of him. And, once the accidental head clash happened at the start of the sixth, me trainer pretty much said, just go after it, because obviously from an accidental head clash, I'll go to the scorecards. So I thought either I've got to stop him here, or pick up the rounds as quick as I can in case they stop it. And yeah, look, he just had a brain explosion at that point, and threw me over the top of the rope out of the ring. And I was, okay to continue to go, and was, but the referee deemed that, he was considered disqualified, which, I think is fair considering, if I landed on my head, or, broke anything part of my body, it could have been, career ending or anything like that. So, ref made the right call, and, they tried to overturn it recently and it was thrown out. So, the right decision was made, and we keep moving forward.
Definitely, kind of as you said, kind of that was going to be my next question, whether you thought the referee's decision was right. But kind of as you said, moving forward now, kind of is kind of a rematch with Montana Love something that you're looking to, or as you said, is it now looking past the Montana Love fight? Kind of that's in the past now.
At this point in time, it's looking past it. We got some big fights coming up for us, and some big cards that we're going to be put on. And look, if Matchroom put the idea to us, maybe we might look at it if the money's right and that, and if it makes sense. But so far, we have had no offer, no nothing put towards us about a rematch with Montana Love, and I doubt that he actually wants that rematch straight away. I would feel that after his last two performances, his confidence is right down, and he hasn't really performed that well. And if I was them, I'd be getting rid of Montana as quickly as possible.
Definitely. Well, as you said, you did come out the victor that night, and onto bigger and better things now. Kind of, we like there are a lot of talks kind of about when you're going to be featuring next. Kind of, there are talks about you featuring on the Canelo Rider bill. That's what we're hearing. Kind of, is there any truth in that? Are you at liberty to say at all?
Where'd you hear?
To be honest, and I'm going to put this publicly out here, my job is the social media side of things. My brother is the sources man. So when I get asked these questions, I can kind of play blissful ignorance. So my brother is my source. I'll put it to you like that.
Yeah, look, there is. We were meant to be getting out sort of March, April, um, but sort of that hasn't sort of come to fruition yet. And look, the proposed, thing was that I could possibly fight on the Canelo card, maybe. But look, there's a lot to be sorted out before that actually happens. And unless it's signed in boxing, it's never done. So we're just training hard in the gym at the moment, and just waiting for the right opportunity and the right opponent. So yeah, we're just waiting on Matchroom and Eddie Hearn at the moment.
Of course, I suppose with obviously Matchroom Eddie Hearn kind of operating globally, there is so many big cards obviously on the schedule, and obviously staying ready is kind of one positive of you guys. You could fit onto a big card straight away. Kind of, I've got obviously Australian boxing as well, Stevie. Kind of, it's on the rise in general, but obviously in terms of a Matchroom perspective, kind of the stable of Australian fighters is ever growing as well. Kind of, how does it feel for you kind of to be a part of this new phase of Australian boxing? Kind of there's big names, including yourself, but how does it feel for yourself to be a part of this new phase of Australian boxing?
Yeah, bloody awesome. But it's a long time coming. I've been putting in a lot of hard work, and it's gone unnoticed for a lot of years. And when Eddie Hearn did come to Toowoomba where I live, and we had a conversation, it was, I just said, just give me a bit of an opportunity here to show you guys and show the world how good I am. And, I wanted to show them the hard work that I put in and who I can be, and that I want to be a world champion. And, he gave me that opportunity with Montana. And look, to be fair, that whole card was geared up for Montana. It was in his hometown. It was for him to go out there and look good and win. But, we were there to spoil the show. And that's what I did. It's a dog eat dog world in this boxing thing. Like, once you lose, you back down. It's a game of snakes and ladders, as they say. So once you lose, you back down again. And you can go right up to the top real quick. And I knew that fight was going to do this. Like, this was my way to really jump the queue, and get right up to the top. And that's what it did. I'm rated now with 3 organizations, number 11 with the WBC, 11 with the WBA, and 8 with the IBF. So, it's exciting to be a part of it. And, in a way, I'm leading the way for a lot of up and coming boxers as well. And I want to headline my own shows here in Australia for Matchroom as well. And they're doing amazing things. When we first started out, boxing when I was 18 here in Australia, there wasn't much of this going on. Even a few years ago, there's only really 1 or 2, promoters doing anything here. So the more competition, the more bigger the shows, the better for all of us, the better for us boxers, better for the managers, the trainers, everyone. So it's going to make a better sport overall in Australia.
Definitely, and kind of obviously a side question to this. Well, obviously you signed with Matchroom before the Montana Love fight. Kind of, how did you feel like first kind of getting the news that you were going to sign Matchroom? Obviously, you said you met with Eddie. Was it a very quick process from there, or was it still kind of a bit of time between kind of the discussion then initially signing as well?
Yeah, from the discussion, it took a while for something to actually come up. We were talking actually about, originally I was meant to be matched with Robbie Davies first up. I don't know why that didn't get made. And then we were talking about Venezuela Golas, who fought Montana, and there was a few names put. And then, it was a bit of a stall there for a while. And then, the name with Montana Love come up. And, we jumped at that. We just needed the opportunity. Look, it's exciting, but I knew that I had to win that fight. Like I said, you lose, you're straight out. So you have to win in this game, and you have to win and look good as well. If you want to be a world champion, I have to go out there and beat people like this.
Of course, as well. And I'm going to throw a few names at you. Obviously, Robbie Davis Jr. was kind of one of them on my lips as well. Kind of, he was scheduled to fight Liam Paro, obviously another Australian super lightweight on the Matchroom stable. Kind of, you mentioned kind of you have a strong intention of fighting Robbie Davis, or a want to fight Robbie Davis Jr. as well. But would a kind of an all Australian clash with Liam Paro kind of obviously that headlines in Australia? I think goes without
Does.
saying. Would that be also a fight that interests you?
Well, funnily enough, me and him have been back and forth for a lot of years. I've always wanted that fight. And they've always said I've had nothing to offer them and go get a world ranking and all this sort of stuff. And they've dodged their way out of that fight for a lot of years. They've been running for me for ages. And the reason I wanted the Robbie Davies fight, it made a lot of sense. And it made a lot of sense to go to England, and I like Robbie. He's a great guy. Me and him have spoken a couple of times, and we're hoping to fight one day. But look, I think he's a really great guy, and I just think it makes a lot of sense. I think our styles would gel together perfectly, and make a really entertaining fight. So who knows? Maybe that fight can still be made in the future. But the Liam Paro thing. Look, after he fought Brock Jarvis, I went up and congratulated him, and he said, "Oh, make sure you go over there and handle Montana Love, and then you and me can get it on next." Well, that didn't happen, and it wasn't due to us. We asked straight away after we beat Montana. We got back to Australia, and we asked for the Liam Paro fight. Never got made. Apparently, the only way they'll fight me is if it's for a world title. So they don't want to risk it unless it's for something. There's certain fighters out there like myself who'll go out there and risk it for anything. I'm willing to fight anyone and anyone. So I don't know. It's just a thing. I don't know if it will be made. I think they'll have to be in a position where they're forced to fight me, where they will.
Definitely. How do you think that would be? Kind of obviously, like you said, like they said, get a world ranking, and then we'll make the fight. You got a world ranking, won't make fight. How do you see kind of that? Unless a world title is involved, how do you see kind of that fight being forced upon them? Would it be a kind of a Matchroom side of things, or anything like that?
I think it'll have to be a bit of both. Where if Matchroom are coming to Australia and they want to make a big splash here and sell out big shows, me and Liam Paro it's a headline event here. Me and Liam Paro would sell out massively in Australia. Everyone's talking about it. They've been talking about it for years. But I think it's one of those fights now. We're in our prime. We're young. We're both world rated. Why not do it now? Why not do it for a mandatory title shot or something like that, or eliminator? So it makes sense to me. It'd sell out if Matchroom, can sort of make that fight happen, or we could both get into a mandatory where one of the organisations, mandate us to fight. Then yeah, so be it. But look, I've always wanted that fight. Um, I think it's a very competitive fight. It's a 50-50 fight. You got, Liam, who's a slick southpaw boxer, just like Montana, and look what I did with him. I reckon I would get rid of Liam Paro a lot faster than that too.
Definitely, and I for one would be very looking forward to see that fight, Stevie. I think it would be an absolute cracker, and like you said, would headline in Australia as well. Kind of, Stevie as well. Thank you for giving me your time today, mate. And my final question: we do ask all the fighters or everyone who kind of comes on the channel. What does boxing mean to you?
Pretty much my life. This is all I've ever done, and it's all I know. So I'm going to continue to do it, and yeah, I'm just going to give it a red hot crack for as many years as I can. It's given me everything I've got in my life, so I'm very thankful for the sport. But as much as I know that it can be taken away very quickly, so I'm just going to enjoy the ride for as long as it lasts.
Perfect, Steve. Well, definitely, and we look forward to continue seeing the rise, mate. Thank you very much for giving me your time today, and best of luck.
Thanks very much, mate. Appreciate having me on.